Okay, so who wants to start first? We can talk about your life since you've received the Tao, or you can tell us how your life was before and how your life is after the Tao, and talk about more on your Dao experience. Okay, who wants to start first?
Okay. Fine. Since one of the things that I find, I've always been involved with, the issue of prayer, but when in my community we didn't have a Buddhist temple. But I was dealt with the issue. I was fortunate to receive the opportunity to teach martial arts. And through that, I learned about Buddha, and I started studying the Lotus Sutra, and I have a few friends who study Soka International. They chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and we would have discussions about the Lotus Sutra. But I didn't find that was, in depth enough as far as dealing with the stuff that I was seeking. So when I was pressed to come over to New York and I found Mahayana Temple, that's when I started really getting into, alignment of what I felt was my spiritual path. And then, after a while, there was a lot of issues in New York. And, they kind of like say, here, you got to deal with this, not only the homeless situation, but, the other things as well. So you go through this little learning and training course in New York. But what kept it sane was really dealing with the issue of dealing with Tai Chi and also studying, the different aspects of Buddhism. Then one day I was, fortunate that May coming in and she invited me to come to the Dharma class, which was more in depth as far as studying Buddhism and understanding the different principles and stuff like that. But then I found that it was helpful, and I always kept myself, like, okay, well, yeah, these things do exist, but I can, live my life as well. But now I find that when you talk about the seriousness of taking the vows, and even though the issue of opening a temple, and how you're supposed to be, cultivating this community or this society and addressing those things, I still, have this little clash that's going on internally, because if you deal with the reality of what's going on with the world, and even in New York, and you look at why these things, or what can be done to, correct these things, and they say you're supposed to be addressing and helping these things. So, when you talk to them, like, there's a lot of issues with racism, okay? I avoid going up to Harlem because they have the Israelites always badgering, the issues of the Israelis. And we're not going to get anywhere with that particular thing. And I'd be seeking, how can we get the issues of understanding what Tao is about and how it can help out with the community itself. So when you talk about, Tao is natural and without motivation, sometimes I question some of the things, because, you have to be motivated if you're going to cultivate somebody. You have to have motivation. You have to have the will, the desire, and you also have to, have the, say wherewithal or the understanding of how you're going to work with somebody to sit them down and calm it down. Then you deal with the issue of failure and success. So right now, we, between Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, they basically, stated that their practice or their ways of teaching or running the world has failed. It has failed to bring them into the goodness of God, has failed to deal with the issue of relieving of sin. You talk about the climate change and stuff like that. So, it's not dealing with the issue that we live in a doomed society. We're dealing with the issue that the root cause of our system is based on a selfish position that they want greed, or, the sun would never set on British soil. So we had to, really, allow them, and we're still examining how do you deal with the issue that warfare is not really the foundation for life itself. So I appreciate, coming up here, but I know there's only 24 hours in a day. So, being that we're trying to get ourselves together, and, people have to work, have to, earn money, have to support themselves. So we have to, find a way. And I think, in New York, there's a big window of opportunity to address a large problem. But as far as dealing with the willingness of certain organizations, especially like MTA. I mean, they always talking about MTA, the L train, this, that, and the other. But, you know, they could have so many people just sitting up there cleaning up New York and also making, earning money where MTA really doesn't have to absorb the cost. That somewhere in this whole New York network system, somebody is failing to deal with reality of how dirty New York is. So right now, even in that package there, we dealt with the issue of health and handball, have brothers deal with the issue of, dealing with themselves, developing the internet so they can discuss their problems, and how Tao, how prayer, how what they feel they can do to reduce the arguments within themselves will be better off. So I appreciate in learning Tao, but as far as dealing with motivation has to exist.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
All right.
Who's next? Nicholas. Talk about your Dao experience. How do you feel about it since you received the Dao? And how it affected your life?
Little Angels class to the English class.
That's right. Okay, while you're thinking, let's go to somebody else. Joe.
Hello.
Hello.
Because of my personal illness, I don't know how to place it in a whole Tao picture. What's the reason? I'm not blaming anything or anybody, but why so much suffering? I just don't understand it. And since I took the Tao, things got worse. I don't understand that either, since I've been coming here. So I'm just trying to get everything in perspective. Because nobody could figure out anything what's wrong.
Well, this is all from our past karma from past lifetimes.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm also dealing with it like you, okay? But I don't think about it. I just live a normal life.
Well, sometimes it's there. I mean, you have to.
I know,
Well,
I
you
know.
feel the pain, you feel the inconvenience.
Yeah.
All the tests and all the doctors.
Yeah, or testing something, whatever.
Yeah, I know.
You
I've been doing
deal
it for
with it.
18 years.
And it's like a mystery too. So
It is, but you just don't try not to think of. Just be happy. Happy that you are still able to walk. You're still able to move. You're still able to eat and sleep.
enjoy life.
Exactly.
I mean, it is difficult to tune out the pain or the inconvenience that you go through. That's true. It is difficult to tune them out. Okay, and it's not to say that we should tune them out, but the fact that we still recognize it as there. That is true. It's a question of then how much we dwell on it. Okay, how much we dwell on it. If it is true that, let's say you have an ache and you dwell on your ache all day, all you do is just think about the ache and all that stuff. Yeah, then life can be pretty miserable. I admit that's true because it's constant. The more you think about it, the more it seems to bother you. It becomes like that. Okay, so now it's not to say that one should then try to ignore it. No, one can acknowledge that's there, but it comes down to how much do you want it to affect your everything else. Meaning,
Sometimes you have no choice.
Yeah.
You really don't.
well,
Just like walking.
Yeah,
I've
right.
stopped 2 times.
okay.
You have no choice.
Well, you have no choice in the sense that yes.
The physical body.
Yeah,
cannot-
right. You have no choice in the sense that it's there. It's there. That's true. I don't say. That's why I said you don't ignore it. But the fact is, how much you want it to affect you. Now it's true that I said, okay, well, if I have an ache here, now if I need to cook, yeah, I need to use my arm, and therefore every time I move my arm, it aches or it hurts, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, the point is that. Okay, and so therefore, in that sense, you can say, oh man, yeah, it's always affecting you when you're cooking. Okay, taking a shower, whatever, playing
You
activities.
use the other arm.
Yeah, right. Well, no. The point is this. Okay. Okay. I can't speak for every individual, but one of the things that I found myself is the fact that I do I do endure physical pain a lot. I seem to have a high tolerance. I seem to have a high tolerance to be able to endure physical pain. I don't know
They
why.
do say men cannot tolerate pain.
No, but for some reason, okay, maybe.
because of
psychology,
babies.
in
Huh?
general, the humans are, like you said, able to endure a lot of pain.
Yeah. Now, whether that's because of a life experience, my own life experience, or what, I don't know. Okay, all I can tell you is the fact that, yeah, when I broke my finger or broke my toe, my whatever, yeah, it's painful, but somehow I don't.
And he
Father.
did break his toe once.
Yeah, I was in temple. I was walking on it, and it was painful every time I step on it. And I didn't see a doctor either, by the way, which is probably a mistake.
He
I don't know if
self-healed
it's I
himself.
don't know if it healed properly or not. But the point is that, well, it wasn't just that. It was like other pain too. Okay, and I mean, if you look at my arms or whatever, because I do a lot of work. I do welding or whatever. I got burnt on my arms because I was welding pipes and all that stuff. And when I first felt pain, when it hit me, I go, ouch! And then I took it off, and then the pain was there, but it didn't stop me. But I just kept doing my stuff, and I just didn't think about it. Okay. The point is this, yeah.
It's like walking here today.
Yeah.
I kept going.
right.
I stopped, but I still.
Good.
Right. And it's good. It's good. Yeah. Now, it's not to say that I'm not trying to say that. Okay, whatever problems you have, you try to build a tolerance for it. No. I mean, because a good example is this. Okay, when there's a scientific study of on people doing meditation. Okay, and they tested the sort of like the quote unquote professional meditators, like the monks and all that stuff, versus the regular person who were told how to meditate and all that stuff. Okay, one of the things that they did as they were meditating, they would create a distraction. Create a distraction. Whether it's like to tap them on the shoulder or make a sound, some distraction. Okay, and they monitored the brain waves of the people, okay. And they found out that every time there's a distraction, the professional people, the monks or whatever, they immediately acknowledge that. No, they become aware. They know that they react to it in the sense that there's a brain wave that says, oh, okay, yeah, I heard that sound, for example. Okay, whatever. Okay, and in other words, they're still alert. The mind is still alert to that thing. But what was interesting, okay, and then for the regular people, they also see the alertness. Okay, now the difference was that over time, as they continue to do this distraction, over time, the people who are non-professional, they begin to try to tune it out. Okay, they begin to tune it out. Okay, whereas the professional ones, their alertness is always stays the same. They're always constantly alert of it. Okay, which one would think that, hey, wait, that means that the person who is professional seems to be can be more distracted by it, right? Because he's always constantly alert of it. Whereas the people who are non-professional, they begin to tune it out. They begin to tune it out. Okay, so you would think that, hey, the professional should be more distracted. But it was the opposite. Okay, in the sense that their alertness, even though they were alert, they do not let it affect other aspects. All the other brain waves. Whereas the people who begin to tune it out, every time they hear the distraction, it not only creates a the brainwave of distraction, I'll call it, but also other aspects of their thinking or whatever. Okay, so their mind basically is more influenced by that, and it's because of that the mind tries to tune it out so that it doesn't try to get distracted by it. Okay, but yet the professional ones, their level of alertness stays the same. They're constantly alert, but yet it doesn't affect the other aspects of their brainwaves, which is very interesting. Yeah. So in that sense, saying that what it's trying to say is that the people who are like professional, meditators or whatever, they can be alert of situations or whatever, but they are not attracted by it or influenced by it as much because they don't tune it out. In fact, they still stay the same level of alertness. They don't tune it out, but they don't let it affect other aspects of themselves, of what they're doing. Whereas the layperson, because the alert, that distraction creates also disruptions in their other brainwaves. It is true that they tend to try to tune it out so that they don't get distracted by that. Okay, so so the way we react, the way we handle it is different, from pros and the pro meditators and the laymen. They handle it differently. So, in the sense that when we talk about like what we want to do, we want to be like those meditators. Yes, we are constantly alert. In fact, we are more alert. Our level of alertness stays the same throughout the whole period of time. More alert of all the things. So, regardless what you have, you're alert of it, but it doesn't affect the other aspects, all the other aspects.
I've been sick now for, let's say, a year and a half, and it's progressing, let's say. But I realize I'm more calm now. Even though I'm sick, things that happen around me, I'm calm.
See?
I don't get aggravated. I don't
Right.
get, it's just,
I think it's because you later realize that's part of you, and you're taking everything as you're dealing everything at the same time. You know you have that sickness, and you are recognizing that sickness. So that becomes part of your sickness, become part of you. So it's with me, okay, but you also know that's only temporarily.
And it's only, more importantly, it's only part of it. Because like I mentioned, or if you, to put it Jewish way, you have a whole pie, that's your life. Okay, if you're only one aspect of your life, like your illness, it's there, it's physically there, but it's only part of it, right? Now, however, we can make it, create it into a point where that pie takes up, that slice takes up the whole pie. That becomes your whole obsession.
Right.
Okay, then in that case, you will be very much influenced by that. But if you just come to the realization that, hey, it's just a slice of the whole pie.
my life's been good.
Right.
Most of the,
You still have to
So in
move
that
on.
sense,
Kind of focus on.
yeah,
You
right.
need to move on. You still need
Yeah,
to
right.
move on.
So, yeah.
But-
But you are affected by it. That is absolutely true.
but I'm more calm now.
Yeah,
Even though
which
I'm
is good.
sick, I'm calm. My son talked to me yesterday, and he was aggravated about something. I just said, take time.
You calm
Things will
him
straighten
down.
out.
Right. Yeah. So
You think differently.
Right.
It's
Right.
like-
You think differently.
different
Right. You
mindset.
do see a bigger picture, so to speak. You see a bigger picture, so to speak. Yeah. And so that's where, in a way, is one of the ways in which you can realize, acknowledge the fact that that slice of pie is not a good pie. It's spoiled, etc. Okay. But it is just a slice. Okay. And it is true. We don't. We have no way of telling when that slice of pie will be, thrown out eventually. Okay. In other words, our karma finishes. Okay. Our karma is finished, so therefore we get well. Okay. We have no idea. But the point is that we just recognize the fact that it's there. Okay. Whatever. It may be whatever we've done in the past. I don't know. That's true too. We don't know our past karma.
Or the life before, the life
Yeah, or the
before,
life. Well, by karma I mean
But
it could be multiple lives.
But I'm at this point now, so the life before and the karma must have been pretty decent, because I'm here now.
Yeah, it's a mix of good and bad because our karma is a mix of good and
Yeah,
bad,
but
right?
right now, I'm at this point. I'm sick, but still I'm here.
Right, exactly. You're still alive and all that. So therefore, you have enough of also the positive karma to maintain yourself, at this point. So it is true. But I there's no way I can tell you to say, oh, you should ignore it, no, you should be happy. No, all I can say is that, just look on the positive side of it. That's all I can tell you. It's like what the Buddhist tells us. Just look on the positive side of it. Okay, in the sense that it's something that I have to endure. True, and it is very bothersome sometimes. That's true too. Okay, but I don't want to dwell on it.
Yeah, I'm not like when I go to the hospital for tests and things.
Yeah.
I'm not grumpy. I mean, I just
Right,
Talk
which
nice,
is good
polite.
because now you're changing more
joke
from positive.
with the nurses.
Right. You're seeing more of the positive aspect, or you're trending to a more positive.
Whatever happens,
Yeah.
happens.
Yes.
Basically.
Because in fact, one of the questions that's asked is, should practitioners of Tao be afraid of life or death? Okay,
I'm not
Yeah.
afraid of.
right. Because when you can really achieve that state of mind where you say, what happens, happens. That's true. Okay. So long, I just continue to try to cultivate for the better. Okay, that's it. I mean, it's true that because we are just one life, and we don't know what our karmas are in the past. We can't say for sure that how much happiness or sadness or bearing pain that we will have in this life. That's true. Okay. So therefore, but we do know the fact that whatever we bear or whatever, is actually a way of paying off our debts. Okay, so a story. Yeah, it's hard to grasp because let me give you a story from Malaysia. Okay, I think it's from Malaysia. This was a case of. This is a very extreme case. I'll just consider it a very extreme case, and I hope I'm telling the story correctly. The story about a lecturer who became a lecturer in the Dao environment or whatever, and he also has a setup of his own temple at home, so he's also a temple master or whatever. Okay, and he was doing okay, and then all of a sudden he got sick, he got ill. Okay, and and so people say, how could such a good person, I guess you want to call it, so advanced person in the Tao, have such a bad illness, etc. Okay, and so everybody, not only the Tao community, but the Tao in that province, all the community in that province would pray to God, to help him heal and all that stuff. And even Jigong Buddha came, to talk to him, etc. Okay, and they say, they recognize, it's their karma, their past karma, that's why they're having the suffering and all that stuff. Okay, and so, and his illness was, pretty severe, and so there he was constantly in pain, and he was in the hospital for a long time, but people were constantly praying. So when Buddha came, people would ask, why, wow, it's been such a long time, why is he still in this state? And then when Buddha came, and he says, he kept encouraging the person to say, try to bear it for a little more longer. Bear it for a little more longer. You would think, wait, that's kind of unusual. You would think that, Buddha would say, okay, yeah, eventually it will pass. But instead, the Buddha said, kept encouraging him to bear it a little bit more longer.
How did that turn out?
Well, he died.
Oh,
Okay. Now,
Good point.
Yeah. So he ended up dying. Okay. And that was because his karma was so severe that the debtors, not only they want you to suffer, but they want your life eventually. Okay. But why? The people ask, why did Buddha say, bear a little bit longer, bear a little bit longer? Buddha, you would think Buddha says, oh yeah, take this medication and you'll be well, whatever. But instead, because the Buddha understood his karma, knows karma, that the karma wanted his life.
So he knew where it was going.
He knew where it was going. But why did he say, bear it a bit longer, bear it a bit longer? Because he was suffering in pain all the time. Because the more you can bear it, the more you pay off. So that when you do, even if you do end up dying, your karma maybe will be completely resolved. Because one's karma can be so severe that you may not be able to pay it back in just one lifetime. Sometimes it could take multiple lives. You don't know that. We don't know that. But the idea is the fact that when we encounter some difficulty, that's why we need to, as the Buddha said, try to take a positive attitude. And it's very hard because you're in the middle of pain. How can I think positive about this pain? Right. It's difficult. It's difficult. The point is that we always try to understand it from a appreciative form that okay, I'm paying off my debts or I'm paying off my back.
I don't think about paying.
You don't have to, it's good that you don't actually, And the same thing, the fact that, okay, it exists, it's here, I just need to live on. Okay. That's why Lecture Liu in his Buddha Nature class talks about the fact that, and even the Buddhas mentioned the fact that, if you could look at it from your Buddha nature standpoint, as I mentioned earlier, whether you're in heaven or hell or whatever, it's all the same. In hell, you're suffering. But yet, it's no different than you're in paradise.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, because when you see it from your Buddha nature standpoint, everything is just an experience, nothing more.
I think of pain now differently. It's been, like I said, a year and a half or so, but I think of pain
which is
not
good.
as pain.
Yeah.
It's just
Right.
part of it.
Yeah,
Part of it
it's just part of this illness or whatever.
So I am starting to look at it totally.
Which is good, because you're beginning to trend, towards the positive side. So that's why, if we could truly develop or manifest our Buddha nature, okay, your illness is illness. I mean, from a Buddha nature standpoint, okay, sure, I have an illness, I have to pay back my debt, etc. But it's just that. It doesn't influence you in the same way that, oh, your life has totally now changed. Or in some cases, you have to, if you're crippled, your life has changed because you need a wheelchair. But in the sense of the fact that, hey, it doesn't mean that what I need to suffer this pain, okay, all the time. So that's why if we can look at it from our Buddha nature perspective, that's that's why people say if you can do that, everything's paradise. It can be paradise, right?
Talking about Buddha nature, I grew up a Catholic and I went to religious school and Catholic school for 9 years. Nuns, priests, that's all I had. But there were some priests that had Buddha nature. They didn't call it that, of course, but they had the same feeling, though.
Yeah, because
There were some.
right.
There were other ones that were total
Yeah.
jerks, but there were some that
Right.
were.
Yeah. Just because you
Their
have not
mindset.
received an opening of the locking of the gate, okay, does not mean that you lack Buddha nature. Everybody still has Buddha nature, and you can still cultivate it even without the unlocking of the gate. To what? Still let go. I mean, what lecture Liu talks about, letting go. Does it apply only to people who have received the Tao? No, of course not. It's anybody, whether you receive the Tao or not, right? I'm just letting go. That's all.
When you talk to some of them, you felt relaxed, calm. They,
Yeah, right.
they give you that feeling.
Right. Right. The sense of serenity. Okay. So the idea of letting go and all that stuff. Yes. Even cultivated, we need to do that. Non-cultivated, they can do that too. If people have this the mind, the determination, the mindset to do that, they can still do that, and they will. The only difference is that they will become Qitian saints, because of the fact that they're able to achieve that, or even maybe they'll instead of become a saint, where they'll come back again and become a disciple like a Buddha or whatever. Okay, so
Who knows?
the whole idea is that you can still try to do the letting go. Because you don't need to be a Tao receiver to do that. Okay? And if you can do that, the more you do that, the more your own Buddha nature manifests. And so therefore, just because you didn't receive the pointing out, doesn't mean that you can't try to achieve a level of enlightenment on your own. No. But it takes a lot of determination, and that's very special. Most people, 99.99% of you will not be able to do that. That's true. Okay. Very, very probably karmic cultivated people, people who in their past lives has cultivated a lot, probably in their most recent reincarnation, whatever, may be able to achieve that. That's true. I mean, if you think about like Buddha with his disciples, right? Where did all these people? How did they become his disciples? Why are they interested in this form of cultivation? Because they've cultivated in the past. Okay. Now, did all of his disciples receive the blessing of the Lord? No. Only a few did, actually, right? So therefore, then, how is it that they can still become our hearts? Whatever. Right? Some of them are our hearts. Our hearts meaning
It's similar to monk.
yeah, but it's, but they're our hearts.
Above the monk.
Yeah. They're like, they're like, quote unquote, demi Buddhas, whatever you want to call it. You can achieve it. You can still achieve those things. True without unlocking the water door, because unlocking the door just guarantees the fact that for the next 10,000 something years, you will be able to be in paradise. You won't have to reincarnate. Okay, but if you don't resolve, if you don't cultivate whatever, you still have to end up coming back. That's all. Okay. So the point is that we ourselves, because we have this Buddha nature, so if we can really, let it manifest, then for us, heaven, hell, whatever, it's just an experience, nothing more.
Have a picture of the keys to heaven.
Huh?
Have a picture of the keys to heaven.
Oh, okay.
So from the
Holy
Vatican.
teacher
From the
says
Vatican.
whether we are in heaven or hell is just one thought away.
a
It's
thought.
all in
Yeah,
your heart
right.
and mind.
Yeah. So,
One
but
thought.
so that's our human heart and mind. So, but if you look at it from the Buddha nature perspective, it is just that, a thought, nothing more.
Yeah.
See, so that's but to get to that level, wow, it takes a lot of effort. Very high, a lot of effort. So, anyway, anybody else?
Nicholas, are you ready?
I still haven't thought of anything.
You still haven't thought about anything. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
can I say something real quick? No, one of the issues I found out about success in college or going to college is that, you know, it's important and not being, you know, it's important to talk and let people know what you feel about certain things. Because then that way, you know, once you say, yes, I want to do this, I want to do this, then they can include you, you know. But if you sit there and you don't say nothing, then they'll be like automatically kind of like exclude you.
Is that why he talks so much?
No, I mean seriously, they do. But
Just an experience in college, yeah.
you know, so
That's
you know,
good. Good
you know,
advice
when,
for
when
him,
you, when
yeah.
you get ready, you know, going to college is like it's a bigger sea and a bigger, you know, people competing for different things.
I think he has his own way of doing it.
Yeah, but you know, but you still have to. Well, this is a discussion point, and his input is important because he comes from, he said, a little angel class to this class, so you've been here long enough. You've been here a long time, and we'd like to hear, you know, your issues. You've been dealing with, you know, the health and welfare of our relations and the teachings that goes on.
No pressure.
When he's ready, he's not ready.
Yeah, okay, no comment.
When he's ready. Edison,
Me? How about Evelyn?
Oh.
Evelyn,
When are you Singapore?
I have my experience, but it comes to Joe, your issue. I have the same issue too. You know, I speak with my mom. I'm very close with my mom, so I say, you know, the things, the phenomena that's happening and things like that. She said, "You? What about me? I'm 80-something years old. I'm still going through it. You see, with my father who's sick, with my sister who has some issue, you know." And my mom told me I have 7 kids. Can you imagine the long lifetime I have to endure? Not only, you know, there's always tests, not only in the family, in the temple, you know, all kinds of tests. So you have to have strong faith. And before I take the classes, because I used to have Mandarin class, which a lot of things I don't understand. So I'm very thankful because I believe every step I take my path, it's already organized for me. You know, it's there. So finally, I have an English class here, and I get to know Buddha nature. So I found out that cultivating is not only like propagating and doing, you know, outer
Outer
things,
cultivation, right.
but you gotta cultivate from inside. You see, inside you have to reflect on yourself, you know. And before that, I don't know much about karma and things like that. So now I have a more understanding and having classes. So in a way, I can let it go, you know, like sort of my mom say, you know, be thankful and appreciate. You can sort of resolve your karma this lifetime instead, you know, of carrying on, you know, but we don't know how much we have, you know, what we create from past lifetime, you see. So, and one issue I had when I was first starting to propagate Dao and letting my friends know, they receive Dao. But the thing is, after receiving Dao, not so long, they have a lot of tests. And when you go back and speak to them about Dao, they were afraid. They say, no, I'm not going. I have so many things happen. You know, I have issue with family, I have accident. Things will never smooth after that. So I try to explain, but some people might not able to understand. So they back away. And then I speak to my mom about it, and my mom said maybe the timing is not right yet to cultivate. The time is for them to receive the Tao, you know, opening the portal. But cultivating, you know, takes a while. Look at myself, you know, she was referring. We received Tao once my mom had a temple with her best friend. So after years, you know, it takes me about 10, 15 years before I really go back, you know, into Tao and cultivating. Before that, I just go to temple, do my prayers, you know, donation and other things. But I'm not into Tao, meaning that I don't go and having classes,
reading the sutras, all those kind of things, being disciplined and learning about Tao. So it takes a while.
Thank you.
But, trial and error. You take the wrong exit, probably, and a lifetime for you to come back.
Yeah, it is possible that, because the time could not necessarily be right. That's true. Yeah, because after all, it depends on your own conviction and your own foundation, your past karmas. If you have a very good foundation, then you'll be very interested in eager to do all the cultivation. But your foundation is not necessarily that deep. You may be lax, interested here, not interested there, etc. You could waver back and forth. Okay, so it requires us in a way to try to. We have to, unfortunately, make a commitment to try to learn, about the Tao. And then second, that's the first part, and then to try to understand it. Because the more you can understand it, yeah, it's true, the more you will waver less, waver less. Because sometimes, when I talk to my brothers, I say, if you truly understand karma, if you truly understand, really, really, really understand karma, you'll be a monk right now. you won't be doing these mundane things. You'll be a monk. You'll be cultivating really, really hard. Yeah, but that's not fair.
We are the new
Monks with
generation
hair,
monks.
Monks with hair, right?
We are already
so
monks.
so each of that's why Buddhism does say, you can reach enlightenment in an instant or 1,000 lifetimes. It may take you 1,000 lifetimes to achieve the same enlightenment because of your own foundations. Okay? Or you can get it in an instant. Again, it's based on the fact that what your foundation is in the past. So that's why, and each of us are at our different stages of our own
Yes.
cultivation. Yeah, right. So anyway, so continue on. I have to.
Okay. Chestnut has to do the Taoist singing ceremony. Okay. So who wants to go? Thank you for sharing, Evelyn. So who's next? Volunteer. Oh, you all heard my story already. So
I can share mine. Mine's pretty quick. It's not quick. So since receiving Tao, yes, I agree with Evelyn. There are a lot of tests, and the test is not a overnight test, not one day test. It's a continuous.
it's never ending.
It's never ending, and
That's life itself.
right, it is, and the test will be very challenging. The test will be like on the item that you're going to fail mostly.
Your weakness.
Yeah, they know that your weakness. So the one that you know you're gonna fail, they will give that test to you over and over and over again. And even if you say, "Oh, I did it,"
Who's giving you the test?
to yourself. So whatever's going on in your life, the test that you are giving to yourself, is the one you're going to fail. But you need to succeed that failing test. I fail all the time. I yell at my kids all the time. I don't have the temper for that. I can tell my kid, okay, this isn't supposed to be, a father figure, just supposed to be nice. I don't have it, and I just lost it. So, but next day, I try to not to do it. I keep doing not to. But 2 weeks later, boom, back again. So it's one of those things that comes back again. No, everyday life, like James said, I have bills. I had a lot of bills to pay. Yes, we had to work on it. We had to pay the bills. I do not deal with the internet people because I am my own Buddha nature know how to deal with those people because I know what's wrong, what's right. So I know my understanding of what's going on in the world. So I do not get involved in that mess. So it is a very mess world out there. I mean, there's a lot of humans. There are not good humans out there. So you make your friends, the ones you choose. So those are the ones you can trust.
My mom said the same thing too. Once you cultivate, you're gonna have a circle of friends who's in the cultivation, has good energy, you call it, the good energy that will support you like a support system. You'll be far away from those negative.
Right, so you make the decision. So you make the decision how your life is going to be. like going to the hospital. Well, it was not my decision, but I went through the process of what needs to be done. You know, okay, fine, cut it open, cut whatever needs to be done, but I'm still going through. So it's a test. It's a keep going. You know, keep doing what needs to be done.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Keep going.
you know, it's not over. I'm pretty sure there's more ahead of me. I'm learning as much, the best I can. You know, it's not overnight learning. I learned a lot more. And it'll take a long time. But hopefully, you know, I will get there.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of tests, and the more we cultivate, the harsher the test. Okay, and don't be afraid to fail the test. We just have to be aware constantly. Okay, I failed, but I will try to pass next time. So you work a little harder. And if you think about it, okay, you know what the test, you know, maybe it's an anger test. We will work harder on our anger, trying to resolve that anger issues, okay? Trying not to blow up, okay? When you know you're about to blow up, in your heart and mind, talk to yourself. Calm down. This is a test, and I'm not gonna fail. This is a test. That's how you're gonna overcome it.
And once you pass the test, the next test is even harder. And
Yeah.
it's the keeping harder test for you every time.
And if you think, oh, finally I passed my anger test, I don't have any more anger, then will come another anger test. Okay? So don't say to yourself, okay, I did it, I'm proud of myself, then you're going to be tested. Okay? To see if you are really, really over any type of anger. And it will be a harder anger test.
My mom does that too. When I was in Malaysia, she used to be calm, and then about a year or two taking care of my dad, and he's like a little bit childish now. You know, 80-something years old, he becomes like a big kid. So one day she blew up. You know, so I said, Mom, you've been cultivating for how many years? You still, you know? Then she's reflect on herself. Oh yeah, I should.
We are still
down.
humans. We're all humans. Otherwise, we will be Buddhas already. But we are all humans. And we sometimes use more human nature than our Buddha nature.
And on that note, when you pass a test, there are good things will happen to you also. So there's a bad karma and the good karma. They will try to offset each other. So if you just being sincere enough, long enough, things will come back and turn around. Life will get better.
Yes. It is how you deal with matters. Okay? Always be on the positive. Even though it's horrible and miserable and it's very difficult to tolerate and it's very frustrating, but if you look on the positive, you let go. Let go. Tell yourself, let it go. Okay? And then you will see from your Buddha nature that, hey, it's not that bad after all. Okay? So always use your Buddha nature rather than our human nature. Yes, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of side effect from the medication. But try to not to focus only on that part of our life. Focus more on the good side of our life. Okay? And then you know, like they say, being happy is the best medicine there is. The best. Okay? So nothing can be better than being happy. Jill, you're the last one. Oh, and Nicholas. Are you ready, Nicholas?
No, not ready.
You're not ready yet. Jill, think a little more.
I think the most important thing that we all have to be determined where that we are staying on that one path. That path, you know, where it at the end, it's like, you know, at the end of the tunnel, you'll see something positive. So for myself, before and after, definitely I see a tremendous change on myself. But I am still unfortunately can't go back the way I was before.
We all
because-
tend to slack off a little bit now and then.
Especially I felt that the harder I try, the harder I will fail. Somehow it's happened to me personally. It's doing that to me. But at the same time, I recognize it. I recognize that's what's going on. So I have to tell myself to pick up myself and then walk back to that path again. So you don't give up because you failed once. And this is a lifelong.
It's a good thing that you recognize it, because if you don't recognize it, you will just keep doing it. But because she recognized it, she will focus more on her fault and try to make her fault, okay, and improve on her faults and to cultivate herself better.
Yeah, so that's kind of very important for all of us. Just because you fail this time doesn't mean that you fail completely.
No.
It just means that you'll come back again until you accomplish that certain mission.
Think of it as, when we tested in school, when we are all in school, we all probably fail some sort of a test, right? So we fail, it's okay, we'll pass. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a degree, right? So this is the same meaning. You pass and you fail. You pass and you fail, okay? It's okay, but just recognize where your faults are and to improve on that part of it. And then next time, you will definitely pass.
Yeah, I would definitely, I definitely know that before I received Dao, I was the type of person who was just really based on forms, and I would never think about myself. Like, why don't I do a self-reflect on myself? You do this, you're wrong. You're wrong. I never wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. No. After receiving Dao, totally different. You must have to self-reflect. It's not their wrong. Let's look back. It's really coming from yourself, from our self. So that self-reflect is very important to notice that. It's not pointing a finger. Really, I forgot who said it. When you point one finger to that person,
You got 4 others
you
pointing
have
to
4
yourself.
pointing to yourself. So it's really all about yourself. So it's not. So we have to learn. It's not other people's faults. It's ourselves who need to look inward and see if there's anything that we can do to make better, and not to, always thinking it's other person's fault.
The most important thing is have a strong faith. Do not deviate from the Tao. No matter how bad the test is.
Exactly.
Never leave this Tao. Once you leave, it's very difficult for yourself to change your mind and come back.
Yeah, that's what I mean about path.
Yeah.
The Tao path.
It's
You
so
must
Well, it's
important.
know.
always there.
It's always there, but you can get sidetracked.
Yeah, look
Because
how many people haven't come back after receiving that. They're caught doing something else on Sundays.
Asura test you. The high end.
But maybe that's
A lot of people receive, but a lot of people also left. Okay. Because they cannot, I guess, they were tested and they failed. Okay. So no matter how bad the test, no matter how bad we fail, we just try to improve next time. But the worst thing is to leave. The worst. Because you think about it, who's gonna be hurt? Nobody but you, ourselves. Who's gonna be hurt? Our ancestors, our parents, and all 7 generations above and 9 generations below will all be suffering because of one bad decision we made. So always have a strong faith, no matter how. If it's really, really bad, talk to one of us in here. Okay, if we can help you in any way to make you see from a different perspective, we will try our best.
So
Okay.
one experience I thought was interesting, that I noticed. Yes, I get angry, and I can get angry all the time. And when I have that anger out, right, I start complaining. But then at the same time, I will stop because I realized, I shouldn't be angry about this thing. So I will like start saying something bad, but then I start be quiet,
So if you self-reflect
So-
and you realize you're in the wrong.
Right. So my next step, this will always be lifelong now, is to know something immediately. Knowing like yourself, you're gonna have that anger. You're gonna spark, right? You're gonna that anger gonna come out before it comes out. You have to capture it. You have to capture it and not let it come out.
That's really
Yeah,
hard to do.
you have to think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the kung fu.
To do it
Yeah, that's the
before-
comfort.
To do it before it happens, that's
Yeah,
hard.
no, if you know what that person said to you or what that person did to you is gonna make you so angry you're about to flare up. Calm yourself inside your heart and mind. Tell yourself, this is a test. Calm down. Do not open your mouth. Put a smile on your face and walk away. Okay? That's how you're gonna deal with it. That's how I do it. Okay? I say, this is a test. Do not let this affect you. Okay? Put on a smile, do what I have to do, and walk out the door. Walking out the door doesn't mean you never come back. Walking out the door means calm yourself down. Okay? And the next time you continue to come back. Okay? So that's how we deal with matters. It's how we're all gonna go through this. It's not just one person. Everybody's gonna go through it. But one thing good, you're lucky because you have a whole family that's in the Tao. And you help each other and the kids. Okay? So you guys are lucky. Super lucky. And Evelyn's lucky you have your mom. Yeah. You
My
have your-
family too.
Yeah,
A
and your
lot of
family.
my family, like my sister, they receive Dao, they have 2 days Dharma classes, and then they get sidetracked because the family, the kids, or maybe the husband is not into Dao, so they sort of block it. So I always tell them, in the future you gotta remember you receive Dao, you have 2-day Dharma classes, this is the path you're gonna go. Once you can let go all this, then it's about time to cultivate, go back.
And also important is to not let negative people affect us. Okay? You come across somebody that's totally against the Tao, talk all negative. Just put on a smile, but don't let what their words get into our head. Okay, just let it go. Whatever they say. Okay, if they have bad experience, let it go. But we still do not let other people's words affect us. Okay, that's very important. And that also is like being a vegetarian. Okay, so you're trying to be a vegetarian, and all your friends around you is talking negative. Why do you want to be a vegetarian? You're so stupid to do that.
It's a lack of nutrients.
Yeah, you're not getting enough nutrition. Don't let anybody affect us.
The peptides.
Okay, so that is the time to use your Buddha nature, to use your wisdom. Okay, so that's very important.
That's the difficult test. That's the most.
That's a
difficult
very difficult test. I'm sure we've all been affected by negative people when we try to be a vegetarian. Right? Are you ready, Nicholas? 5 minutes of your time.
Yeah, shared experience between moving from
Yeah.
religious to
How it was in the children and how you feel now coming into the
What
adult
do?
class.
how can we introduce to better for the little ones that are coming here.
Now you're a big brother. Your whole family is in the Tao. right? Your dad brought you in.
Yeah.
See? Your whole family, your brother and your sister come every week.
Do you talk about Dao at home?
I guess sidetrack. Yeah.
No, it's high school, yes, you went back to sidetrack. You heard from the two sisters. I mean, they were having a hard time growing up with in the family, but they were glad because of what they learned through the, even though they were so busy, now they're coming back from college days. They know how important it was for them.
You may not see it now because you're still very young, but when you become, a little older and you're dealing with people at work, you're dealing with people in society, and you know how to handle yourself, you say, hey, I learned that in the Tao. I'm so glad I learned all that in the Tao. Because you build up that foundation as a child in the Little Angels class, and now in the adult class. Okay? So you may not see it now, but you definitely, I can promise you, you will definitely see it. Okay? And when your parents get older, I know you're gonna be more filial because you learn all that in